Flap, the stumps went flying. Balu had won the match for his team. They rushed towards him to celebrate. He was their hero. Balu was Bim's hero too. Like Bim, he was an untouchable until just a few years ago. Balu's king would even eat with him. But this didn't stop him from becoming a great cricketer. As a child, Bim knew that the world he lived in was like a ladder. Different groups of people made steps of the ladder. Bim knew that he belonged to the lowest step. People above his group on the ladder did not eat with them. They did not drink from the same well as them or bathe in the same pond. They did not pray in the same temples. They said people like Bim could not be even touched. As he grew up, Bim began to understand that these groups were called castes. There were very high castes and low castes. Bim was in the heart. He belonged to the low caste, an untouchable caste. Can you imagine a 5-year-old boy thinking why in his little mind? Even when he was little, Bim had big ideas. He wanted to study. He wanted to read books. When can I go to school? He pestered his parents. His father, Ramji, said he was an officer in the army under the British who ruled India and managed to send all his children to school. Bim was the last of his 14 children. His mother, Bimbai, knew why her husband was sad. She was too. They both knew how he would be treated in school. At the age of 5, Bim went to school, just like his brothers and sisters before him. Like them, he would not sit with the rest of his class. He had to sit in a corner with a few like him, the untouchables. Bim already knew the rules. He had to sit on an uncomfortable gunny sack he brought home from school. He couldn't touch anything. So one of the questions I'm going to ask is, why couldn't he touch anything? Sangha? Yeah. The teachers wouldn't touch his slate. If he wanted water, the school assistant would pour it down his hands so that even the pot of water didn't touch him. If the assistant didn't come to school, he and the other untouchable children like him would have no water to drink the whole day. But none of this stopped him from going to school. There was one teacher, Mahadev Ambedkar, who was very fond of Bim. He belonged to the high caste, the top of the ladder. He shared his lunch with Bim sometimes. He even changed Bim's last name in his own school records. So from then on, Bhimrao Ambedkar became Bhimrao Ambedkar. One summer, when he was 9 years old, Bim, his brother, and cousins were going to visit his father in Goregaon. Just the 4 children alone by the train. Bim was very excited. Ramji, Bim's father, told him to get off the train at Mizoram. He would send someone to pick them up. But when the children reached the station, there was nobody waiting for them. Ramji had not received the letter telling him when they arrived. The station master came up smiling. Such nice children, he thought, so well dressed, so polite. You must be high caste children, he told him. No, Bim said, we are Mahar, the children. He wanted nothing to do with them. Finally, the children set off for Goregaon in a cart. The cart driver wouldn't drive the cart sitting with them. He walked alongside. The children drove the cart themselves. It was a long ride. By night, the children were tired and very, very thirsty, but nobody gave them water or shelter, not two untouchables. By the time they reached Goregaon, all the joy of the trip was gone. They were exhausted, hungry, tired, and sad. Bhim never forgot that journey. When Ramji moved with his family from their village in Maharashtra to Bombay, he put Bhim in one of the best schools in the city. All of them lived in one room on a noisy, crowded street. Bhim's father would wake him up at 2 every morning, every day, so he could do his homework and study. But everything was quiet. Even in a big city, Bhim was treated like an untouchable. Why did he have to wake up at 2 in the morning?
To study.
Ask again.
Why did he have to wake up at 2 in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah, to study. After school, Bhim went to college. He did so well that he won a scholarship to study in America. There he discovered that he could go wherever he wanted, sit anywhere, drink and eat from the same cups and plates as others around him. For the first time, no one thought he was an untouchable. Bhim came back to India. At his first job, the assistant in the office threw files and papers at him because they didn't want to touch him. Nobody wanted to take orders from him. He was an untouchable. He even struggled to find a place to live. Why did the assistants throw papers at him? You're wrong, Uncle.
Yeah, because he was untouchable and they do not want to touch him, be with them, be with him.
Yes.
Later, Bhim began to teach in a college. Even though he was a brilliant teacher and the students loved him, the other teachers refused to share their jug of water with him. Bhim was not silent. He started a weekly magazine in which he wrote about caste and its evils. In his country, everyone was not equal. The British, who ruled India, looked upon Indians, and the Indians looked upon other Indians too. Many years have passed since the station master had walked away from the young boy, but not much had changed. Bhim was now highly educated, but that didn't make a difference to those who only looked at him as an untouchable. He was determined to do something about this, so he went to London to study law. It would help him bring justice to his people. When he came back, Bhim continued to fight in his speeches and writings. He demanded equality for all castes, and now he had thousands of followers who called him Baba Sahib with affection. One day, Baba Sahib led to a peaceful march to a public tank near Mahad, Bombay, which the untouchable people had never been allowed to take water. He knelt down and drank from it. Thousands of people followed his example and broke the rule that had been placed for hundreds of years. By now, Babasaheb was respected as a brilliant lawyer. He was the first person in his community to hold a PhD degree when India became independent in 1947. He became the first law minister along with the other experts. He wrote the laws of the land. And so the boy who was forced to sit in a corner of the classroom picked up his pen and changed the lives of millions in his country. The laws helped frame the Constitution of India. Babasaheb believed that through law he could get everyone in India, including millions of people who looked down upon untouchables, and equal chance in his life to eat and play, to study and work. The fight that still continues even today. Last question. What does the boy who asked why symbolize in the context of Bhimrao Ambedkar's life? A. His rebellion against authority. B. His inclusive nature and quest for social justice. C. His curiosity about academic subjects. D. His fight for independence from the British rule.
Please guys have answer.
Okay.
Shravak.
Yes. Very good. Answer is B.
Yeah.
Thank you, Romeo.
Thank you. Have a good day.